Alright, so it's been a while since I made a video. I kind of left off on a cliffhanger. I didn't really end up making a last video. Or maybe I'll just put this on the one video. I don't know. I did a bunch of different recordings, but I haven't done a recording in a bit. And I'd made a lot of work. As you can see, the intake manifold is on. The valve covers are on. I was in the middle of putting in the right bolts instead of the wrong bolts. Hence why that's fucked up. Don't look at it too much. It's fine. It works. I bought the wrong bolts for this. Ain't supposed to be like that. I was supposed to buy flange bolts. Didn't do that. So those are fucky. I also forgot to buy the bolts for the size of the tap that I drilled it out. So those are missing. And the new valve covers are almost entirely the same. They're all normal bolts. I got pretty much all of them in, except for that one. That one's different. This one I'm going to need like a 4-inch one to go through the valve cover. Why? Edelbrock. But yeah, I got these cleaned up. These are the valve covers. I say cleaned up because that's polish, whatever, wax thing. It's cleaner compound. I didn't actually polish these, as you can tell, but they were lots dirtier before. I wish I had taken some before pictures. But that looks pretty good. It looks good next to this big cast clean aluminum. That's what I want. And this is just like sand. I can get that out with stuff. But yeah, I got a bunch of different kinds of chrome on here. I got the water pump that came super solid chrome. The correct timing cover, which is just like cast aluminum. Then I got these polished aluminum. They're not chrome. I don't think they're chrome. And then I got this cast aluminum. So, bunch of different shiny bits. And this old block that I didn't end up painting, which I'm kind of regretting, but it was going to be way more work, and I would not even be nearly as close to done as I am right now. I don't know if anybody else has run into this with this Speedmaster intake manifold, this high-rise Speedmaster intake manifold, but the coolant temp sensor, I believe that's what this is, looks like it, did not fit. I had to like file this side of it down, and I had to file out a little bit here to get all the holes to line up. I know that's the one I tapped, but they're all sitting close to that way because I can't push the manifold that way anymore because this is in the way. So I don't know if that's anything anybody else has run into. That also might port in over here, and I might plug that up. I don't know what this is. Oh, this might be actually, I have it down here. Whatever these are. Yeah, whatever that sensor is. Coolant pressure, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's a temp difference, like before and after the radiator, or before. Maybe that isn't a temp sensor. That makes more sense, that not being a temp sensor. I don't know what it is. It's straight into the block. It might be a knock sensor. Could end up being a knock sensor. I don't know. I actually don't know what most of the sensors are, because they kind of just bolt in and look like they have a ground on them. Like there's this one over here. Don't know what this one is. Just in the block, and it's got a stud on it. This also looks like it could be a knock sensor. It's also covered in grease, which I didn't end up cleaning off. But, so that's the big update. I do have the carburetor. I don't have carburetor bolts either. I thought it came with bolts. It does not. And also, I'm pretty dumb. If anybody wants to teach me how to hook up a throttle cable to this thing. Also, I'm pretty sure this is a return system carburetor, and my Ford Ranger is returnless. So I've got to figure out how to do that. Wow, those surfaces are so nice that it's just... I had the engine slightly off level, and it wanted to slide. So, putting these on here, I don't know which one of these doohickeys I gotta put the throttle cable on. I know that this right here goes in past those plates down into those plates for the secondaries. And I know that this thing right here, when I move it, it does that for the primary. And then if I push it some more, it'll move this thing and actually move the plates down there. So I think this is either fuel in or fuel out, and then this is fuel in or fuel out. I don't know. These are fuel lines. These might be for the filter. I have no idea. I haven't looked up most of this. I'll look up a diagram or something. Not sure really what it is. This I'm pretty sure is like fuel regulator, or yeah, fuel pressure regulator. It's got a sensor port here. It came with some wires to hook that up. And then when this is at the right pressure, it opens this up, or it twists this so that it opens. And I don't have enough hands to actually do the stuff. But yeah, carburetors are kind of simplistic, but also this one's kind of complicated. I haven't done a whole lot with it. I don't know how to tune them or stuff like that. I can figure out how to put it on there, but as far as like hooking up, how to hook up the throttle cable, not really sure. So that's about it for this update. Hopefully next time I'll have some more good news. Maybe I can put it in the truck next time. We can see where the truck's at with the wiring harness and what needs to be done. But I'm gonna continue doing these exhaust bolts because these ones are too big. It turns out, let me roll the motor real quick. Oh, make sure the carburetor doesn't just go sliding off. That'd be fun. Have to hold. I can do it. I can do it one-handed. Check me out. Fuck. Yeah, check me out. Look how good I am. It immediately drops the one pin I need. Where'd the pin go? Into the abyss. Pop cans in here. Love living in a return pop can state. It's so much fun. I spend so much more money on that than I need to. Okay. Oh yeah, and if you can hear the stuff rattling around in the engine, that would be the oil pump drive that I have yet to fix. Boom, it's in there. So yeah, this one never went in. So about this one was when I realized that I have the wrong bolts, because I just went to Ace and bought the ones with the right threads. I didn't really care what the head was. But it turns out these heads are too big and too close to the pipe, or the exhaust head, that it doesn't want to tighten in. So this one's actually stuck. I cannot figure out how to get a wrench on it to move it out, because I can't put a socket or a closed-ended wrench. I have to put an open-ended, and it doesn't quite grab this side here. Or no, it does, but the wrench hits this because it has to go left. And it doesn't fit down here because it'll run into the bottom of this here. So that one's stuck for now until I figure out how to get it off. This one I still got to get off. I'm sure I can get that one. Yeah, I got to get this one. So we're 1, 2, 3 away. And something fun that I noticed was that these were sold as a pack of 12, a 3x4. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on one bank, which means I'm going to need 16 in total, because I'm going to do the other bank too. Why these are sold in the 12 pack, I do not know, but it does make me frustrated, because now I'm going to have a whole bank to spare, because yeah, I'm going to have 8 extra. So I don't know, maybe another place does sell them in 8s or 4s or something common denominator, so I can, not 12, because I have to buy another 12 pack. But yeah, that's pretty much my update. I'm going to get the oil pan back off of here, even though this gasket sits so nicely. It's all sealed up, nice and torqued down and everything, and I get to take it back off to make sure I have actual oil pressure, which is more important than whether or not this oil leaks. Oh, and another thing. I think on the other side, there'll be the driver's side. These are where the engine plates go. I've got those over there. I'm not going to unbury them right now. But basically, it comes out, it's a big square. It'll sit about yay tall. And it's got 2 holes in it where the old engine mount was. Or on the truck, actually, where it'll mount to the truck. On the other side, the exhaust comes down like right here-ish. And I have to cut in to the plate like that, so that I can get around it, get the bolt bolted into this, and have the 2 bolts that sit out here. So they'll like cut out like that, and then have the bolts that sit here. It'll make more sense when I actually have it looking close to done. All right, got almost all the bolts in and tightened down, except the same one I was having issues with before. For the same reason I was having issues with this one, was that I could not get the wrench to do anything, and it's hitting that. And flip it over, can't really get a grip on it. It's just going to round and slide off. So at a standstill for that one, I think I just put too much heat wrap on here. Maybe if I heat it up, it'll like put a torch on it, it'll burn some of it away or something. I don't know. But that one's at a standstill right now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour ATF. I didn't buy any, but I'm going to pour ATF down the cylinder holes. Let it sit in, soak. Make sure it's got a good. Make sure it's sitting in there nice. To clean it out. Clean the engine out. I put a borescope in there. It looks solid. The pistons got a little bit dirty. So I want to clean those off. But I also don't want to tear it apart. So just going to let some ATF soak in it. I'll run a can of seafoam through it when I get it broken in. Not that I rebuilt it or anything, but I did put a new cam in there. And I don't want the ATF to wash off the cam grease that I put in. So just in the cylinder holes, as far as metal shavings go, I've for the most part vacuumed and or blown off everything that I can get. As long as it's not like on the crank or in the crank journals, I'm not too worried about it, because it's not going to like spin a bearing or chip the cylinder walls. It'll wear them out a little bit, but as long as we can get like the metal shavings run through, and the oil, the magnet and the oil pan will get whatever doesn't get burnt up. That's pretty much where I'm at for metal shavings in the engine. As far as metal shavings in the coolant passages, that's different. I'm going to do a coolant flush, but that's pretty easy. I'll probably end up taking the pump off for that. Oh, this isn't tightened down. Good thing I noticed that. Where's my 10? I had a 10 on here. Here it is. Thrilling content. Trying to do this one-handed while making sure the camera's on it is a new challenge. I haven't never really done this while making a video. So much fun. Also, yeah, that's another thing I need to get better on camera about is saying and like I'm not good at being good on camera. I have to cut a lot of this out, which takes a lot of time and just doesn't make for a good video if I leave it in. There, that's all tightened down. Make sure I got all the rest of this. I could have sworn I tightened all these down on video. I thought I did that. Anyway, ATF in the cylinder holes to make sure that it's the cylinders are clean. I'm going to run some comp cams, whatever, cam break-in oil, break it in, then I can run some seafoam through it, and that's the plan for when I get the engine running. Still need to figure out the carburetor. Don't know too much about that. Still got to put the exhaust manifold gasket on the bottom side and install the bottom exhaust headers. But yeah, that's it. Oh, and if anybody wants to recommend exhausts or where I can buy exhaust pipe or anything like that, that would be awesome. Because I am going to do a custom exhaust. I don't really want to buy one. I want to do a custom one. But I don't know where I can find, like, fittings for this. Or an X-pipe. Or stuff like that. Maybe what I would really like to do is put a Valvetronic exhaust on. So, basically I can have a cutout and go to, like, something else. But to buy 2 of those for an X-pipe, do I put them in front of it or behind it? Or do I get one and try and like turn it into an X-pipe where they collect and both go out the same thing in the Valvetronic? Like pipe them both in like a collection, like a Y. Do the Valvetronic thing so that it'll cut out in the Y, and then split it back out so that it turns the... That might be a cool sounding... I think I'm gonna come up with that. Is I'll have like that and that. It'll come down. It'll collect in the front side of the Valvetronic piece. I'll have the dump where I can open it up and just cut it out. And then the rest of it will open up and go like X-pipe back out into Flowmasters. So I'm gonna need 2, like a collection piece and another one, but the opposite purpose of going that way, so that it'll turn the Valvetronic piece into an X-pipe. I'll draw it out if it doesn't make much sense, because I think that's what I'll do, and I'll have like an X-pipe and a Valvetronic, and if it sounds like shit, then it's what I get.